All right, welcome back to Misery Sports Co., where dreams go to die.
That's right. We're so sad inside, we don't feel anything, so we just keep coming back.
If your teams have ever gone on an extended winning streak only to be just outside of the playoffs, you're welcome here. I'm Zack.
And I'm Trevor, and if you also don't know what the playoffs are, you're also welcome here. That's a foreign concept to me that I can't even wrap my head around.
So last episode, we turned our attention to the Sacramento Kings, diving deep into a franchise that continues to live somewhere between real progress and carefully managed chaos, a real gut punch for the fans of the 2000s.
Anytime it starts to look normal, like success may be on the horizon, that's when you know something's going to go terribly, terribly wrong.
So come on back in to Misery Sports Co. We're clocking in. It's the same company. It's the same level of confusion, chaos, dysfunction. You're welcome here.
It's a company you know, the company you love. And sure, there might be something else better out there, but you're not going to go find out. You love the pain.
Of course not.
That's why you keep coming back. That's why we're here. Hey, before we get started though, Zach, let's check in with the sponsor who confusingly keeps sending us money, and we will accept it. This segment of the Misery Sports Company podcast is sponsored by the newest cocktail sweeping the nation. It's the NBA Fruit Punch-Out, now the favorite drink of teams like Charlotte and Detroit. This cocktail has only 3 ingredients: grain alcohol, testosterone, and pettiness. Forget that old stuff you had you grabbing jerseys and waiting for your teammates to tell you to get back so you can act tough. This stuff is fighting juice with NBA Fruit Punch-Out.
Thank you so much, NBA, for your generous donation and your wonderful and very creative drinks. Mm-hmm. We're going to jump into the weekly performance review now, where we review progress from our teams, from other leagues, and we just commiserate together. I'm going to start us off, Trevor. I'm going to really dive deep into not the Browns, because I can't talk about the Browns right now. We did have the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. Well done. You know, we'll never feel that at Misery Sports Co., but well done.
Won't even sniff it.
I really wanted to focus in on the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz are just going to levels that have never been seen. They're elevating themselves in the world of tanking.
Yeah, they are.
They were up something like 7 or 8 points going into the fourth quarter, and they pulled everyone. They pulled Jackson, they pulled Lauri Markkanen, and they said, "You're not playing. We're not winning." And they went on to lose. So I just wanted to highlight from a weekly performance, that is an A+ in Misery Sports Co. We are here for it. You're really pushing the bar. I don't know how you fix this, but we still got a lot of season left.
It's a lot. They're not even trying. I like that they're not trying to hide it. Call it what it is. It's a broken system. I like it. Go Jazz.
Yeah, I guess on the brighter side, so, you know, we have those teams that you and I focus on, and Titans and the Browns are always going to bring us down. But for me, the Cleveland Cavaliers have actually been a ray of sunshines. We traded for James Harden. He has been phenomenal right off the bat. Okay. We had 2 away games. Sacramento Kings, they actually played phenomenal, but Harden came in the 4th and delivered. He was hitting threes. He was clutch.
Nice.
Came in. We won that game. Went to Denver. Beat them in Denver. James Harden again was awesome.
Okay.
And tonight he's got like 11 or 12 assists. Like, the dude's on fire. He's everything we've ever needed. I've always felt a little iffy about him. He's super old, but I mean, the returns are good so far.
Can't complain about that. Build that hope up, baby.
That's right. Trevor, what do you got for us?
Well, like Zach said, the NFL season's over. We can't talk about the Browns. I'm going to talk about the Titans. So, not directly. In the Super Bowl this year, Mike Vrabel got his Patriots all the way to the Super Bowl. And it was a complicated time for Titans fans. On the one hand, since the playoffs started, I just hate watched all of his games and hoped he would lose, because everybody was telling us, "Oh, don't you wish you had Vrabel?" And so in that way, and I lived for a time in Seattle, got the Seahawks hold a special place in my heart, so I was rooting for them certainly in the Super Bowl. And JSN's great. How great is JSN?
Oh yeah,
So
unguardable.
good. But then Braves lost, and I gotta admit, I was kind of bummed seeing him on the sideline doing his losing face. And I think in my heart, I like him. I think his interviews are still fun. I think he's a funny guy. He is a flawed coach. He doesn't fire his buddies that are coordinators. He maybe doesn't invest as much in offense as he should. I don't know. He's got flaws. But he made it really far. Congrats to him, I guess. But all we've heard is the schedule around the Patriots. Guess who had the easiest schedule in the entire league this year? The Patriots. Yes, they did. By quite a ways. Zach, guess who had the hardest schedule in the NFL this year?
The Browns? The Titans?
The Titans
One of us
had the hardest schedule after having the number one pick and should get the easiest schedule in the NFL. We had, based on this past year's records, we had the hardest schedule in the NFL. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. But whatever, I'm not bitter. It's fine. Congrats to the Patriots for getting there. One more note. The Patriots averaged just under 17 points in the postseason. Not great. To put that in perspective, the Jets were averaging almost 18 points. So, good job. Their defense is great.
Benefited from Bo Nix breaking his leg when
Right.
they played Denver.
Right.
But, I mean, Vrabel squeezed everything he could out of him.
No
I
doubt.
hope that one of our teams or a team at Misery Sports Co., for those of you listening, can get that luck. Someone else needs that luck. It's always the Patriots.
Yeah. You know what me and Zach's luck is in the playoffs? Running into Patrick Mahomes.
Prime Mahomes, prime Kelsey, prime Andy Reid.
What were we supposed to do about that? I'm so sorry. Anyways, I'm not bitter. It's fine. Oh, and the Mavs have lost 8 in a row after winning 4 in a row. So, yay, Mavs.
Oh.
That's what I got
Hang
for
in
you.
there. Here at Misery Sports Co., we really live by the motto here. Misery loves company. So come on in, guys and gals. You're welcome here.
Let's be miserable together.
That's right. Before we go to the mailroom, our next stop, we're going to have a word from our next sponsor. Ironically, have you ever watched a completely normal basketball game and thought, you know what this needs? A brawl. Call Detroit Pistons Conflict Initiation Services, specializing in hard fouls, longer stares than necessary, and that one teammate who always arrives way too fast from the weak side. Detroit Pistons CIS, escalating situations since tip-off.
You know, it really stands out from conflict avoidant packages out there. We're looking to bring the conflict. I like that. They'll corner that market, I think.
Yeah, I mean, from the Malice and the Palace on, if you need a fight, it's the Pistons got your back. We'll start that.
That Hornets one was real. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
They were throwing some punches, and that ref was just looking.
That was a great fight. Highly recommend. We haven't had one like that in a hot minute. That was great to see. So like Zach said, well, first of all, thank you, Detroit Pistons, for what you're doing for our entertainment and for the league in general. Let's step into the mailroom. We are going to look at the landscape. We're going to see what's out there. We'll maybe talk about awards that would theoretically be given and maybe shared or not, but let's step on in. What do you got, Zach? What do you got for us?
So I have I've got one tweet. I was kind of perusing the Twitter sphere and I came upon Boban Marjanovic, probably mispronouncing it. Fan favorite. He's out of the league. He was in the NBA. For those who don't know, he is enormous. He's like 7'5" on a bad day. Typically came off the bench. He'd give you a couple points, a couple rebounds, but typically, your eighth or ninth player. He was showing up. So I noticed he's starting to show up at college basketball games and go into the student section. So there's this 7 foot, I don't know, 5 guy, just huge in these student sections. So he was actually at a UConn game with literally a digital camera trying to take
Oh
pictures
my gosh.
in the stands. And so I came upon this gem, and it may have been Boban's last game in the NBA, but he was with the Rockets. And all you need to know is that he was playing the Clippers. It was a game that really didn't matter, and the score wasn't close. And so the Clippers fans, if the opposing team misses 2 free throws, they would get free chicken sandwiches. And so Boban
Big
had
deal.
missed
I want
the
that chicken.
first one, and you're not going to be able to see it. We'll repost it on our Twitter, but he starts to like get the fans going, even though they're the opposing fans, and he's going to intentionally miss it.
Be some free chicken on the board if he misses the second free
Yeah,
throw.
he's telling the crowd, I'll miss this one for you.
Getting a little frothy.
Oh, they're pointing to you. Boban's playing with the crowd. Say, you want chicken?
Here's your job.
Oh, he gave him chicken. People, he's a man.
He did that on purpose.
He did. He gave out free chicken.
What a legend.
Absolute treasure.
Oh my gosh. You want free chicken? I'll give you free chicken. He was such a vibes guy. He fun fact, he started games for us in playoff series against the Clippers, actually.
Okay.
And we didn't win those, but he was fun. Good dude.
Well, that's probably not a good sign.
It's fine. Well, I've got 2 tweets, and they are themed because last week we talked about the Sacramento Kings, and I have 2 Sacramento Kings related tweets. So the first one is from a Muse account for Dylan Cardwell. This says it's got a video of a fan doing a contest. Sometimes you'll win cash, sometimes you'll win a lease on a car for a year. This says the Sacramento Kings are giving away season tickets if you hit a free throw. That's where we're at. So just hit a free throw and you can have season tickets. Desperate place right now.
Yikes.
And my tweet of the week, this one from Raise23 on Twitter. There was a tweet that asked which NBA team deserves the number 1 pick this year the most. And Raise23 replied with a picture of the Kings players on the bench saying, "We the most ethical tank in the league. No benching star players, no tanking gimmicks, just pure ass hoops." Just pure ass. And I agree.
Yeah.
I love ethical tanking, but I kind of love unethical tanking of the Jazz where they're just doing it out in public. What I don't like is the BS around like fake injury reports, why we're sitting people. Like, just be honest.
Yeah, they got to change it. They got to figure something out with the NBA because I just put myself in the fans' seats, right? Even if you were like a Utah fan and you wanted to see the players, but you knew at some point they're going to pull them and they're not trying to win, that kind of sucks if you're paying money for a ticket and stuff. So
Yes.
I don't know if they, figure out the seating like mid-season and then they're like, okay, well, this is the order, go play, no more tanking. I don't know how you fix it, but they are finding new levels of tanking.
Yes. New levels.
Well, that was our mailroom. Seems a little bit more orderly in there. I feel like the union hasn't been sending us as many messages. We kind of squared that away.
Yep. Our message was delivered. Just kind of rude gestures and looks.
That's right. And before we go to our next segment, Trevor, who do you have for our next sponsor?
Check out our new sponsor this week. It's Mike Vrabel's 1,000-yard stare at the scoreboard while he processes the dumb thing his team just did and wishes Christian Gonzalez could play both sides of the ball and his left tackle had long enough arms to wipe his own nose. Thank you for sponsoring this segment, Mike Vrabel. You know the look I'm talking about where he's got his hands on his knees and he's looking up like this?
Yeah, he kind of looks constipated. He's
Yes,
like
yes, yes.
squinting.
Trying to get it out and just like I was doing the Leonardo DiCaprio point at my TV. Like, I know that. I see that every day.
I know that.
Yep. Seen that.
Good deal.
Yep. Shout out. Thank you for sponsoring that. Let's get into some moral victories.
All right. Well, in our office of moral victories, we always take a look at some employees of the week. So taking a look across the NBA, I actually landed on the Charlotte Hornets. So speaking of a team that's been streaking, they've won 9 of their last 10. They're pushing for a playoff spot. I think they're around the 10 seed.
Yeah.
And of course, they unfortunately lost their last game, but they fought tooth and nail, literally, for it. So
He really did. Yeah, they did.
They're a young team. They got some good players. Seems like their drafts are starting to hit. I'm gonna screw his name up, but Canuple.
Yep.
He's hitting threes. He's doing great. They're entertaining to watch.
Absolutely. And as we saw, those fans deserve some respite from their misery because it's been a long, bumpy ride. Congrats, Charlotte Hornet. Well, my employee of the week, last time it was Cooper Flag. He's still doing Cooper Flag things. He's definitely could be employee of the week. But this week we are going to a team that I know very little about, even though I root for them. It's Ohio State senior guard Bruce Thornton in a win tonight against USC to keep those classic bubble hopes alive. They do this every year, Zach. They drag us along.
Rough.
Maybe. And then they're going to trip down the stretch. In the past 2 years, look back on a buzzer beater loss to Pitt and a close loss to UNC. I swear to goodness, it's the same story these past 2 freaking years. But anyways, that's not what this is about. This is about Bruce. Bruce had 21, 6, and 8, and he moved tonight. He moved into 5th all time in scoring for the Ohio State Buckeyes all time. So he is now 40 points behind the next spot that is shared by Jerry Lucas and William Buford. And I could give you 100 guesses as to the top 2 spots, and I don't think you'll get them. I've never even heard of these people. You know more about this than I do, though.
They're old.
They're old. Yep.
Is Havlicek up there?
He is, but not in the top 2.
Okay. Jerry Lucas. It's got to be around that same time. There were some dudes back then that because Bob Knight was a coach for Indiana, but he played for us. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. Who is it, Trevor?
It is. I was going to give you years. Both from the 80s. So in the 2 slot, he is 61 behind Herb Williams, who played late 70s to early 80s. And then he is 146 behind number 1 scorer all time, Dennis Hobson, from 83 to 87. So there you go. Congrats, Bruce. Bruce Thornton.
Way to go. We hope that you receive our award in the mail and that it brings you hope in this dark, dark time. Please
we all
get
need
us
a little
to
bit
the
of
NCAA
hope.
tournament. That's it.
I just want to go back. I just want to go
There's 68 teams, Trevor. How are we not in the tournament? Oh
my gosh. We can be a 10 seed, 11 seed. I don't care. Whatever you want us to be, just get us in. Used to go all the
Yeah. That's wow. Didn't know I was going there today. Well,
sorry.
Well,
congrats, Bruce. Well, it's deep dive time. This is a part of the show. Step back, connect the dots, and just take a hard look in the mirror and see, is our situation that bad? Let's check out somebody else's.
Last week, Trevor covered the Sacramento Kings, as we mentioned. This week, I am taking the lead as we take a look at a team from the NHL.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking, with the Winter Olympics, we should give a little bit of love to Canada. So we're going to go back to Canada. And we're going to visit the Vancouver Canucks.
Vancouver.
So this team was founded in 1945. They were part of the PCHL. before the NHL. They jumped to the NHL in 1970 as an expansion team, and they were named the Canucks. I have no idea if this is correct. Someone from Canada is going to have to correct me because it may not. When I do research, the Googles says that Canucks is similar to what Yankees would be in the U.S. So it's like a term of endearment for Canadians.
All right.
All I see is that shark thing on their on their logo with the C, and I was like, is it another term for a shark? I don't know.
It is sharkish. It kind of looks like tribal, like it'd be from like First Nations or something. It's really cool. They have a cool logo.
For sure. So I didn't know this, but Vancouver is the third largest metro in Canada at 2.6 million people. Little did I know. Doing a little research. So, all right. So we're going to go through. They started in 1970 as an expansion team, and they were bad. Didn't make the playoffs for a while. The first 4 years were rough, and their owner sold. So he sold to Frank Griffiths for $9 million, Trevor.
What a deal.
Million.
It's a bargain.
What a deal. A couple winning seasons to start off, those mid 70s, and then 16 years below 500 in that time frame.
Oh my gosh.
16. But here's the crazy part is the NHL was so desperate for playoff teams, they made the playoffs 9 different times during that time period.
Good gracious.
So some kind of interesting seasons. 1982, they went 30 wins, 33 losses, and 17 ties. So they did not have a winning record, but they made the Stanley Cup.
Whoa.
They ended up getting swept, but they made the Stanley Cup. And so that should be celebrated. That's pretty cool.
Should be.
There's a few more times where they went to the Stanley Cup, and it just becomes more gut punches, one gut punch after the other. So in 94, they go 41, 40, and 3.
They
make the Stanley Cup. Yep, and they lose. But in 94, Trevor, they beat the New York Rangers in Game 7. Or no, they lost to the New York Rangers in the Stanley Cup. But they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the conference finals. And do you remember who the goaltender was? Gretzky hockey. Potvin. And they scored on Potvin in double OT.
Oh, I love it.
To go
Freaking
to the Stanley
Potvin.
Cup. Yep. So Potvin can suck it.
Yeah,
but they did lose to the New York Rangers in Game 7. So they were actually in a really tight series. That's a super bummer. The 90s were pretty good to them. So they signed Marc Messier. They had Daniel and Henrique Sedin. I think Sedin might have been popular in that era with the NHL games that we played growing up.
Yeah.
Robert Luongo was another good player.
Love him.
Phenomenal. They actually go to one more Stanley Cup in 2011. They went up 3-2 in this series to the Boston Bruins and end up losing 4-3 in a Game 7 loss at home in Vancouver.
Man, and that place was ready to pop.
Yeah. So
Ouch.
this team, I feel for the fans. It seems like they built towards something, but then couldn't get over the hump, couldn't win the big one, and then there wasn't the consistency after. So it was like you get to the top and then you're falling right back down.
Yeah.
When I look at since 2000, they're pretty much 500 roughly. 8 of the last 10 seasons, no playoffs for this team. So that's Vancouver. I remember them when we were playing Wayne Gretzky's NHL.
But yeah.
On N64, we would always go up against them, and I just remember the big C with the orca on it.
And they are up in the corner, not middle of nowhere. BC's beautiful, but like those forgotten teams in the Pacific Northwest, they're just, I don't know. Unless you live there, it's so far away that you just don't meet a lot of those fans. And I know that's it is a smaller franchise in the NHL landscape, but you just don't run into a lot of Canuck fans. I don't think I've ever met anybody who was like, I'm a huge Canuck fan.
Right. I don't think I've ever come across anyone who's even been from Vancouver, let alone visited. It's very far away.
Mm-hmm. We used to, like, you can go across the border into Canada you can take a train up to Seattle. And I always wanted to go because I would see the pictures and it looked great. I would love to someday do a giant road trip, not driving, but like flying around to each of the different Canadian hockey venues and go to a game in each one. I think that would be a blast. I think that would be so great. Yeah, Vancouver Canucks.
So I know we were talking about this. It's another maybe mini segment, and it's a rating system. So Trevor, do you want to open up kind of what we're thinking with this rating system?
Yeah, we talk about so many teams. We do these deep dives, and one thing in common, everybody is miserable when it comes to the fans of these teams. But how do we compare these? We talk about different kinds of misery, like with the Canucks being so close to closing the deal and then being unable to do so. With the Kings, finally getting the team together, you're going to beat the bad team and then the refs take it from you. The Hornets are just kind of a special brand of ass. I don't really, they got their thing going on. So we thought it would be interesting to, for the person who does the deep dive to share based on their research and readings and everything, where they think those teams would land. So for example, we have the Hornets. Zach, you did the Hornets, and I gotta believe it's pretty high on our misery meter of 0 to 100. It's got to be up there, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's
it's pretty high up there. I had the Kings last week, certainly lower than the Hornets, nowhere approaching that. Been bad for a while. Stinks to see Halliburton in the finals. I'm gonna put them at like somewhere in the 60s. Pretty miserable. I don't think they're higher than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Vancouver just behind the Kings, maybe in like the upper 50s.
Hmm.
I think going to Stanley Cups means something. Like, you're in the championship hunt, even if it's once every 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
The Hornets are never in the hunt.
Yep.
The Kings have had, one trip, maybe 20 years ago at this point. I think Vancouver is going to be somewhere in the 50s. I'll give them like a 50, 56.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, so we're going to fill this out as we go. As it gets bigger, maybe we can, I'll take a screenshot and we'll post it on our website. But we have had several teams that we've talked about so far, and I think we've thought it would be fun to just kind of quantify, compare different levels of misery. It's going to be hard. We'll periodically go through previous teams like we did the Kings and the Hornets. It's going to be hard to unseat the Hornets up there.
The Hornets have a special place at Misery Sports Co.
It's a lot. And power to them.
Well, before we lock up, let's thank our last sponsor here. So, did you accidentally sound like you wanted out? Call Giannis Antetokounmpo's Walk It Back PR, specializing in translating "I just want to win" into "I absolutely said I never said I wanted to leave." Our team works fast, issuing clarifications before the morning shows even finish packing. Walk It Back PR, because what you meant was open to interpretation.
Incredible. Nobody's walked a tightrope and sat on the fence quite like Giannis. Thank you for sponsoring.
He doesn't want to leave
product.
Milwaukee, right? Like that at this point, like,
I don't think so.
He would have been gone.
I don't think so. But then he comes out and says stuff like, "It's time to move on." Like,
right.
Well, what does that mean? I don't know. It's all too much to follow. I hope Milwaukee keeps him forever, but what are you going to do? Well, another work week in the books here at Misery Sports Company, where the effort is, around and the results are there.
That's fair. They are there.
They're there.
Follow us. Give us a like, a retweet, a repost. Visit our website, miserysportsco.com. And we're also on the tweeters at Misery Sports Co. Let us know what you think. What you think about the Vancouver Canucks, any of the prior teams, as well as any future teams that you'd like us to cover.
We'll be back next week with more evaluations and just telling you, hey, it's going to be different next time.
Until then, shut the laptop, or maybe it's your phone. Turn that phone off.
Just stop watching that highlight reel from 2011.
And remember,
You're not suffering alone.
because misery will always find company.